The starship Araxial, a marvel of interstellar engineering, loomed silently above the Earth, hidden by the vast expanse of the Sahara Desert. Its sleek, metallic surface gleamed under the harsh sun, almost mirroring the ocean of sand below. Inside, the crew of Araxians, a race known for their tactical prowess and advanced technology, prepared for their first contact with Earth. Commander Yilax stood at the forefront, observing the barren landscape through the viewing portal. "Initiate the descent protocols," Yilax commanded, his voice resonating through the ship's intercom. The crew members, adorned in their lightweight armor designed for planetary exploration, took their positions. As the ship began its descent, the engines emitted a low hum, stirring up clouds of sand as it approached the ground. The Araxial touched down on a high dune, its landing pads sinking slightly into the soft sand. The immediate area was desolate, with no signs of life or civilization, a strategic choice to avoid initial conflict and gather data. Yilax turned to his second-in-command, Officer Tarek, a seasoned veteran in extraterrestrial landings. "Deploy the perimeter sensors and prepare for surface reconnaissance. We need to establish a base of operations," Yilax instructed. Tarek nodded, tapping commands into his wrist-mounted device. Moments later, small drones buzzed out of the ship, scattering in all directions to map the surrounding terrain and detect any biological activity. The initial reports showed minimal life signs, confirming their choice of landing site. However, the Sahara was not as uninhabited as it seemed. From behind a large dune, a figure watched the alien ship with cautious curiosity. He was Farouk, a nomad who knew the desert as one would know their own home. Farouk had seen many strange things in the desert, but nothing like this. He decided to approach the visitors, a decision that would change the course of their mission. As Yilax and a small team stepped out onto the sand, their boots creating crisp impressions, they were unaware of Farouk's approach. The desert air was hot and dry, a stark contrast to the regulated atmosphere they were used to. Yilax surveyed the horizon with a hand visor, while his team unpacked equipment from the ship. Suddenly, there was a shuffle of sand behind them. The team spun around, weapons raised, only to see Farouk standing a short distance away, his hands raised in peace. "Welcome to the Sahara," he said in clear, accented English, having learned the language from tourists and traders. Yilax lowered his weapon, intrigued by this solitary earthling's bravery and calm demeanor. "We come in peace," Yilax responded formally, though he was internally vigilant. Farouk's smile broadened, and he took a few steps closer. "You have chosen a hard place for a visit," Farouk continued, his eyes glinting with a mix of amusement and wisdom. "The desert is beautiful but harsh. It will test you, as it tests all who walk its sands." Yilax regarded Farouk thoughtfully. This unexpected meeting was not part of their meticulously planned mission, but Yilax knew that adaptability was crucial. "Perhaps you can teach us about your world," he suggested, signaling his crew to lower their weapons. Farouk nodded, his gaze sweeping over the alien technology with a mixture of wonder and respect. Thus began the Araxians' first day on Earth, under the vast, unyielding sky of the Sahara, with the desert itself as their first challenge, and a nomad as their unexpected guide. With the ship secured and the immediate area surveyed, Yilax invited Farouk inside the Araxial. The interior of the starship contrasted sharply with the rugged desert outside. It was cool, dimly lit, and punctuated with the hum of alien technology. Farouk's eyes widened as he stepped through the airlock, his sandals leaving prints on the sleek metallic floor. "This is your ship?" Farouk asked, his voice echoing slightly in the spacious corridor. "It's unlike anything I've ever seen." Yilax nodded, leading Farouk through the main hallway towards the command center. "It is from beyond your stars," he explained. "We've traveled a long distance to reach your planet." Farouk listened intently, his curiosity piqued. "And why Earth? What brings you to our world and specifically the Sahara?" "We seek to learn," Yilax replied, his tone diplomatic. "Earth is known for its diverse environments and intelligent life. We chose the Sahara for its isolation, to avoid causing alarm." They arrived at the command center, where a large holographic map of Earth hovered above the central table. Points of interest blinked across the continents, representing various data the Araxians had collected from orbit. Farouk looked at the map, pointing to the region representing the Sahara. "Many underestimate this desert," he said. "They see it as empty and lifeless, but it is alive in ways that surprise you. It teaches resilience and strength." Yilax considered Farouk's words. "Perhaps you could help us understand better. Your guidance could be invaluable." Farouk smiled, agreeing to the proposal. "I can show you the desert, but respect is crucial. It is more than a sea of sand. It is a home to many." As they talked, Yilax's crew completed their preparations for a more extensive expedition. They planned to explore the surrounding areas with Farouk as their guide, aiming to gather samples and data on the desert's ecosystem. Later that day, equipped with modified suits to withstand the harsh conditions, Yilax, Farouk, and a small team ventured outside. The sun was a fierce orb in the sky, casting sharp shadows on the undulating dunes. "Water is scarce, and the sun is relentless," Farouk began as they walked, his eyes scanning the horizon. "But life finds a way. Look," he pointed to a cluster of small, hardy plants near the base of a dune. "These are resilient, adapted to extreme drought." Yilax knelt, examining the plants. His suit's sensors analyzed the foliage, sending data back to the ship. "Incredible," he murmured. "Such adaptations are worth studying." Their exploration continued, with Farouk showing them the tricks of navigating the desert, from reading the dune patterns to finding signs of life. The aliens were adept learners, quickly absorbing the lessons Farouk offered. But as the sun began to set, casting the desert in hues of orange and red, a warning signal from the ship abruptly called them back. Rushing to the command center, Yilax and his team found that their sensors had detected an approaching sandstorm, one of significant magnitude. "These storms can bury entire settlements," Farouk warned. "We must find shelter immediately." Yilax issued orders to return to the ship. As they hurried back, the wind began to pick up, carrying whispers of sand that hinted at the storm's impending fury. As the first gusts of the sandstorm hit, the team barely made it inside the Araxial. Sealing the airlock behind them, they watched as the visibility outside dropped to zero, the ship's exterior cameras showing nothing but a swirling mass of sand. Inside the safety of the Araxial, Farouk turned to Yilax. "The desert has many faces," he said. "Today it shows us its power." Yilax nodded, watching the storm rage outside. "And we must respect it, as we must respect all aspects of your world if we are to learn from it." As the storm enveloped the ship, the aliens and their earthly guide settled in, ready to wait out the tempest. It was a stark reminder of Earth's unpredictable nature, and a moment of reflection for Yilax on the challenges ahead. As the sandstorm raged outside, the Araxial's hull vibrated with the force of the swirling sands. Inside, the crew and Farouk huddled in the main common area, watching the storm through the ship's external cameras. The screens displayed a world obliterated by sand, a relentless barrage that seemed almost sentient in its fury. Yilax stood by the main viewport, observing the storm's power. "Our sensors didn't predict the storm's onset so quickly," he confessed, his tone mixed with respect and frustration. "Our technology is advanced, but it seems Earth still holds surprises." Farouk nodded, his gaze steady on the swirling sands. "The desert does not give up its secrets easily," he said. "It teaches us patience and humility, qualities that are valuable, no matter where you come from." The storm continued for hours, each minute teaching the Araxians a lesson in Earth's unpredictable nature. As the winds finally began to wane, Yilax convened a meeting with his officers and Farouk. They gathered around a holographic display showing the data collected during the storm. "Analyze the storm patterns," Yilax instructed. "We need to understand this phenomenon better to adapt our missions." As the crew worked, Farouk shared more of his knowledge. "Sandstorms can reshape the landscape, reveal new paths, or bury old ones. They are creators and destroyers," he explained. The analysis revealed that the storm had shifted significant amounts of sand, altering the topography around them. It was an important reminder of the desert's dynamic nature and the need for constant adaptation. "Prepare for a surface survey as soon as the storm fully subsides," Elax decided. "We'll need to reassess our surroundings." With the storm easing, the crew ventured outside again, finding the landscape transformed. Dunes had shifted, and in some places, the sand had scoured the surface to reveal underlying rock. "The desert is never the same," Farouk remarked, leading the way as they explored the altered terrain. During their survey, the team discovered pockets of life that had managed to endure the storm. Small animals and resilient plants clung to existence, their adaptations a testament to survival in extreme conditions. Elax was impressed by the tenacity of life in such an environment, noting, "There is much to learn from how these creatures thrive." As they collected samples and data, the mission's focus shifted from conquest to understanding, driven by the crew's growing respect for the planet's complexities. Returning to the ship, Elax reflected on the day's events. "This planet is more challenging than we anticipated," he admitted in his log. "But it is rich with lessons. We came seeking to conquer, yet we might instead learn from its strength." That evening, as the crew shared a meal with Farouk, the atmosphere was contemplative. The storm had brought them closer, forging a bond through shared adversity. Farouk's stories of the desert, filled with respect for its power and beauty, deepened the crew's appreciation for Earth. "Our mission parameters are changing," Elax announced to the group. "We are no longer just explorers or potential conquerors. We are students of Earth, and the Sahara is our teacher." The team nodded in agreement, their earlier ambitions of domination giving way to a quest for knowledge and understanding. The next morning broke clear and bright, the storm having swept the sky clean of all but the most fleeting clouds. Elax and his team, refreshed and motivated by their newfound respect for the desert, prepared for another day of exploration. They were joined by more nomads, friends of Farouk, who had heard of the aliens and were curious and cautiously optimistic about their intentions. Farouk introduced the newcomers with pride. "These are my brothers and sisters of the sand. They too know the ways of the desert and can help you understand our world." The nomads, draped in robes that fluttered slightly in the morning breeze, greeted the aliens with a mixture of traditional salutes and warm smiles. As the team expanded, Elax briefed everyone on their objectives. "Today, we focus on learning from you," he declared. "Teach us how to live with the desert, not against it." The nomads led the group deeper into the Sahara, away from the usual paths, into territories that maps often neglected. They shared their knowledge generously, explaining how to spot sources of water hidden beneath the dry surface, which plants were nourishing and which were poisonous, and how to read the sky and sand for signs of changing weather. Mira, one of the nomads, pointed out tracks in the sand. "See here? These are the marks of a desert fox. They're clever hunters and very elusive. Notice how the tracks are spread out. It was running, probably chasing prey or evading a predator." The aliens took samples and made notes, their technology capturing details that human eyes might miss, but always guided by the nomads' expertise. The collaborative atmosphere was fruitful, bridging worlds through shared curiosity and mutual respect. As the sun climbed higher, the group settled under the sparse shade of a large acacia tree. Here, Farouk took the lead in a discussion about the philosophy of living in harmony with the land. "The desert does not forgive greed," he said. "Take only what you need, give back when you can, and always protect the balance." Elax listened intently, his mind racing with thoughts of how these principles could apply not just to survival in the desert, but to their approach to Earth as a whole. "Your wisdom is profound, Farouk. On Araxiel, we too respect balance, but we have lost many such practices in our pursuit of progress. There is much we can relearn from you." In the afternoon, the group encountered a challenge. A sudden, fierce wind kicked up, stirring the sand into blinding clouds. The nomads reacted swiftly, forming a circle and using their bodies and cloaks to create a barrier against the sand. The aliens quickly followed suit, their suits protecting them from the finer particles. Once the wind died down, Tarek, Elax's second-in-command, expressed his admiration. Your reaction was immediate and effective. We have much to adapt to our own strategies. The day ended with a demonstration of traditional cooking using a solar cooker. The nomads prepared a simple meal that was shared among all, symbolizing the unity that had formed among them. The food, seasoned with local herbs, was a revelation to the Araxians, who were used to synthesized nourishment. That night, as they camped under the stars, the discussions continued. The nomads spoke of the desert not just as a place, but as a living entity, a teacher and a home. Yelax, reflecting on the day, felt a profound shift in the mission's goals. We came as strangers to conquer, but now we strive to become part of this world, he mused aloud. Tomorrow, we will help the nomads with a project to reinforce an old well, a small repayment for the vast knowledge they've shared with us. As the Milky Way painted the sky with swaths of light, both humans and aliens looked up, pondering the vastness above and the shared ground beneath their feet, united by a common goal of understanding and respect. The following morning, under the cool pre-dawn light, Yelax and his team joined the nomads at the site of the old well. The structure, partially eroded by time and sand, was a crucial water source for the nomadic community and the local wildlife. Today's task was to restore and reinforce the well, ensuring it would continue to serve its purpose for years to come. As they worked, Yelax observed the efficiency and knowledge with which the nomads approached the task. They used natural materials and ancient techniques that had been passed down through generations, ensuring that the restoration did not disrupt the surrounding environment. The aliens contributed as well, using their technology to analyze the structural integrity of the well and optimize the design for durability against future sandstorms. This collaboration, Yelax noted to Tarek as they worked, is a model for how we should engage with all planets. Not imposing, but integrating and respecting. Tarek nodded, wiping sweat from his brow. It's a humbling lesson. We are gaining more by serving than by conquering. With the well project progressing smoothly, Yelax called a midday break. The crew gathered under a newly erected canopy where Farouk facilitated a discussion about the broader implications of their mission. "Commander, if I may," Farouk began, his voice carrying a serious tone. "What will you tell your leaders when you return? About us? About Earth?" Yelax pondered the question, his eyes scanning the circle of intent faces, both human and alien. "I will tell them that Earth is not a target, but a teacher. That our mission has evolved from conquest to cooperation. That we have much to learn from your resilience and your respect for the natural world." The group nodded, and Mira added, "And what of your people? How will they receive these lessons?" "That," Yelax admitted, "is the challenge we must prepare for. Change is difficult, even more so when it challenges our fundamental views about ourselves and our place in the universe." The discussion shifted towards practical outcomes. The nomads shared their experiences of interacting with other cultures and overcoming initial distrust. The aliens, in turn, spoke about their advanced technologies that could help Earth in areas like renewable energy and water conservation, proposing a future exchange of knowledge. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows over the desert, the well project neared completion. The restored well stood as a symbol of their joint efforts, a testament to the power of unity and mutual respect. That evening, back on the Araxial, Yelax convened a formal meeting with his officers to reassess their mission objectives. The room was filled with a new sense of purpose. "We need to redefine our strategy," Yelax started, his voice firm yet open. "Our original goal was to conquer, to claim resources. Now I propose a new goal: to coexist, to learn, and to share. This desert and the people who thrive in it have shown us a different path." The officers, influenced by their experiences and the bonds they'd formed with the nomads, unanimously agreed. The mission's new direction was ratified, setting a course for cooperation and peaceful coexistence. As they concluded the meeting, Tarek approached Yelax. "Sir, there's something else. The scans from today's project have revealed something unexpected beneath the sand near the well, structures, possibly ancient." Yelax raised an eyebrow, intrigued. Prepare a team. We'll investigate first thing tomorrow. This could be another piece of the puzzle, another aspect of Earth's history to understand. That night, as Yelax gazed out at the stars from the deck of the Araxial, he felt a profound connection to Earth. The planet was no longer just a mission. It was becoming a part of their own story, a reminder that even the mightiest can learn from the humblest, and that in the vast cosmos, there were still infinite possibilities for growth and understanding. The discovery near the old well intrigued Yelax and his team, prompting an early start the next day. As the first light of dawn painted the desert in hues of gold and pink, the Araxians, equipped with advanced scanning gear, joined the nomads at the site. The atmosphere was charged with excitement and a hint of tension. What secrets did the Earth still hold beneath its sands? Yelax supervised the setup of the scanning equipment, a series of devices capable of penetrating the ground with minimal disturbance. We aim to understand, not invade, he reminded his crew as they worked, echoing the new ethos of their mission. The scans revealed an intricate network of buried structures, possibly part of an ancient civilization that had once thrived in the Sahara. As the images formed on the holographic display, both the Araxians and the nomads gathered around in awe. These could be thousands of years old, Mira whispered, her eyes wide with wonder. Our ancestors spoke of cities swallowed by the sand, but I never imagined. Yelax nodded, equally fascinated. We will explore this carefully, he promised, with respect and with your guidance. However, the excitement was short-lived. Mid-morning, the Araxial's sensors picked up an incoming aircraft, fast and not responding to hails. Yelax's heart sank. It seems Earth has finally noticed us, he said grimly. The aircraft, a military jet, made several passes over the site, its cameras locked on the Araxians and their alien technology. Tensions escalated quickly. Despite Farouk's reassurances that they came in peace, the military was taking no chances. Commander, they're arming weapons, Tariq reported, monitoring the situation from the Araxial's command center. Yelax issued rapid orders. Evacuate everyone to safety. Activate the ship's defensive measures, but do not engage. We are not here to fight. As the jet made another, more aggressive pass, dropping flares and firing warning shots into the uninhabited expanses nearby, the nomads and aliens scrambled to take cover. The Araxial's shields held, creating a protective bubble around the ship and its immediate vicinity. Farouk, ever the peacemaker, suggested a negotiation. Let me speak to them. They may listen to one of their own. Reluctantly, Yelax agreed, and a communication link was established with the incoming squadron. Farouk's voice, calm and steady, explained their peaceful intentions and the archaeological significance of their findings. Meanwhile, Yelax and his crew prepared for all outcomes, their commitment to peace tested in real time. The response from the military was cautious, but curious. Intrigued by the mention of ancient structures, they ceased their aggressive maneuvers, but maintained a watchful orbit. The situation is stable for now, Commander, Tariq updated Yelax. But we should prepare for further encounters. Earth's authorities will want assurances. Yelax nodded, his mind racing. Organize a diplomatic team. We need to present our findings and our intentions clearly. This misunderstanding could be an opportunity to foster trust. As the crisis de-escalated, Yelax reflected on the day's tumultuous events. The counterstrike had shown that despite their peaceful approach, fears and misunderstandings were inevitable. But it also underscored the importance of communication and diplomacy. That evening, as peace settled over the camp once more, Yelax joined Farouk and the nomads around a fire. The stars above seemed to watch silently, a reminder of the vast universe waiting to be explored, not through conquest, but through cooperation. We have much to do, Yelax said to the group, his voice imbued with resolve. Tomorrow, we begin not just a new chapter in our mission, but perhaps a new chapter in the history of our two worlds. Together they planned their next steps, ready to bridge worlds, one conversation at a time. The following day dawned with a cautious optimism among the Araxian crew and their nomadic allies. Having survived the initial military scare, there was a tangible shift in their mission, a pivot towards more open and direct diplomacy with Earth's governmental authorities. Yelax and his diplomatic team prepared meticulously for the upcoming discussions. They gathered comprehensive data on their findings and the peaceful nature of their explorations, emphasizing the mutual benefits of sharing knowledge and technology. Meanwhile, the ancient structures they had discovered became a focal point of their presentation, illustrating their commitment to preserving and studying Earth's cultural heritage. As they worked, Farouk approached Yelax with a suggestion. There is a place deep in the Sahara known to few. It's called the Heart of the Desert. A place of great significance to our people and possibly to yours. He explained that this site was considered sacred, a convergence of ley lines that some believed contained powerful energy. Yelax was intrigued. Could this place help strengthen our message of peace? He asked. Farouk nodded. It could demonstrate the depth of your respect for our planet. Moreover, it might provide a neutral ground for your discussions with Earth's leaders. Deciding to visit the site, Yelax organized an expedition. He invited representatives from the local government, who were curious and somewhat skeptical about the alien presence on their planet. The journey would not only serve as a diplomatic gesture, but also allow both parties to explore more of Earth's hidden wonders together. The convoy consisted of a blend of Araxian hovercraft and traditional Earth vehicles, creating a striking image as they moved across the vast, undulating sands. The journey allowed for informal exchanges between the Araxians and Earth officials, slowly building a foundation of trust and curiosity. After several hours, they reached the heart of the desert. It was a breathtaking scene. An oasis surrounded by towering dunes, with ancient stone structures partially uncovered by the shifting sands. The air was vibrant with an almost palpable energy, and even the Earth representatives felt a profound sense of awe. This place, one official whispered, feels like it's alive. Yelax took this opportunity to speak. Like this oasis, our intentions here are life-giving. We seek to share, learn, and grow together, not to dominate or destroy. The officials, moved by the sincerity of the gesture and the sanctity of the location, began to open up more about their concerns and hopes regarding the alien presence. The discussions that followed were honest and fruitful, focusing on potential collaborative projects, especially in areas of environmental conservation and technological exchange. As the sun set over the heart of the desert, a temporary camp was set up. That night, under a blanket of stars, a formal agreement was drafted. The Earth officials agreed to a trial partnership, starting with joint archaeological expeditions and environmental projects. In return, the Araxians would share some of their technological advances, with strict protocols to ensure that the technology was used ethically and sustainably. The agreement was celebrated with a small ceremony, blending Earth and Araxian rituals. The atmosphere was one of cautious hope, with both sides acknowledging the challenges ahead, but committed to overcoming them together. The night ended with stories shared around a fire, Earth tales mingling with Araxian myths, each enriching the understanding of the other's culture. Yelax, looking around at the gathered faces illuminated by firelight, felt a profound connection to this planet and its people. Today we did not just find allies, we found friends, he said to the group. His words, met with nods and smiles, sealed the newfound bond between the two worlds. As dawn broke over the heart of the desert, the newly formed alliance between Earth and the Araxians was strengthened, not just by agreements made under starlit skies, but also by an unexpected challenge that would soon test their commitment to each other. The morning was calm, and the atmosphere among the camp was buoyant with the success of the previous night's negotiations. However, as the teams began to pack up their equipment to return to the Araxial, the first sign of trouble stirred with the desert winds, a sudden and unusual movement detected by the Araxian sensors, coming from beneath the sands around the oasis. Yelax was the first to notice the readings. "There's something alive under there, moving towards us," he reported, his voice carrying a mix of curiosity and caution. The Earth representatives, already briefed on the Araxians' advanced monitoring capabilities, gathered around the display screens to watch. As they observed, the sands around the oasis began to shift subtly at first, Then, more noticeably, the movement was not random, it seemed purposeful, directed. Farouk, familiar with many of the desert's secrets, looked on with recognition and a hint of reverence. "The guardians of the desert," he murmured almost to himself. "The what?" one of the Earth officials asked, puzzled. Farouk explained. "Legends tell of creatures that protect sacred sites in the desert, emerging only when they sense a threat to their domain. They are rarely seen, more spirit than flesh, but it seems your presence has awoken them." Before more could be asked, the sands erupted not far from the camp, and out came creatures that looked like a blend of earth and armor, shaped somewhat like enormous scorpions, but with a fluidity that seemed almost plant-like. They moved with surprising speed and grace, encircling the oasis. Yilax signaled for calm and non-aggression. "Hold your positions. Do not engage," he commanded. "Let's try to communicate our intentions." The creatures paused as if assessing the intruders, their bodies shifting with the sands, making them seem as if they were part of the desert itself. Using the Araxian communication devices, Yilax broadcasted a message of peace, explaining their respectful intentions and the newly formed alliance with the Earth representatives. Slowly, the creature's aggressive posturing lessened. Farouk stepped forward, speaking softly in his native language, words that seemed to blend naturally with the whispering wind. The effect was mesmerizing, and gradually the guardians seemed to accept his words, their bodies relaxing, becoming less like warriors and more like sentinels. "These guardians," Farouk turned to explain to the gathered group, "are connected deeply to the life force of the desert. They protect against imbalance and harm. By showing respect and peaceful intent, we've reassured them. We're not here to harm their sacred place." The Earth officials, amazed by this display of interspecies communication and the mythical reality before them, renewed their commitment to understanding and protecting these ancient sites. The experience underscored the importance of their partnership with the Araxians, who had technologies and approaches to peace that could lead to greater understanding and protection of Earth's own hidden wonders. As the Guardians slowly receded back into the desert sands, leaving no trace but the memories of their appearance, the teams packed up to leave the oasis. The journey back was filled with discussions on the implications of the encounter. "We must include provisions for the protection of these guardians and their habitats," one official suggested, a proposal that was quickly agreed upon by all. Yilax, reflecting on the day's events, felt a profound respect for the planet's mysteries. "Today we witnessed Earth's magic and its natural custodians. Let this be a lesson in humility and stewardship for us all," he shared with his crew. After their profound encounter with the Desert Guardians, the Araxians and their Earth counterparts returned to the site of the Araxial, bringing with them a renewed sense of purpose and a deeper understanding of the delicate balance that governed the natural world. The incident had left an indelible mark on everyone involved, emphasizing the need for sensitivity and respect in their dealings with Earth's ecosystems and mysteries. Back on the Araxial, Yilax convened a meeting with both his crew and the Earth representatives to discuss the implications of their recent experiences. The atmosphere was charged with a collaborative spirit, each participant eager to contribute to a framework that would ensure the protection and study of Earth's cultural and natural heritage. "Today, we are not just visitors or allies, we are learners," Yilax began, addressing the group. "Our approach must reflect our respect for Earth's intrinsic values and its guardians. The Earth representatives, influenced by the Araxians' technology and their genuine approach to diplomacy, proposed the establishment of a joint research facility. This facility would not only focus on technological and environmental projects, but also serve as a cultural exchange hub, promoting understanding and cooperation between Earth and Araxial. One of the key outcomes of the meeting was the development of guidelines for interacting with sensitive ecological sites, drawing directly from the lessons learned at the heart of the desert. These guidelines emphasized minimal impact exploration and the inclusion of local knowledge as a critical component of any scientific or cultural studies. Meanwhile, the story of their encounter with the Desert Guardians quickly spread among the local populations and, eventually, the global community. The tale became a symbol of the potential for peaceful coexistence and mutual respect between humans and extraterrestrial visitors. It sparked interest worldwide in the Araxians and their mission, shifting public perception from apprehension to curiosity and open-mindedness. Farouk, who had become a key liaison between the Araxians and the Earth authorities, suggested that the next step should include more extensive outreach efforts. "We should share what we've learned with the wider community," he advised. "Let them see the benefits of what we are building here." Acting on Farouk's advice, Yilax agreed to a series of public forums and educational programs. These events were designed to demystify the Araxians' presence on Earth and to showcase their respectful approach to planetary exploration. The forums were met with enthusiastic participation, featuring interactive sessions where Earth citizens could learn about Araxian technology, philosophy, and their homeworld. Amidst these developments, Yilax took time to reflect on the changes he had observed in his crew. The mission had transformed from a conquest to a profound intercultural exchange, enriching everyone involved. He noted these reflections in his log, emphasizing the importance of adaptability and openness in interstellar relations. As the joint research facility began to take shape, with sites being scouted and plans drawn up, Yilax and his crew continued to work closely with Earth scientists and cultural leaders. Each day brought new insights and reinforced the bond between the two species. One afternoon, as Yilax walked through a newly established botanical garden, part of the cultural exchange program, he paused to admire an earth plant that had been particularly resilient under the harsh conditions of the Sahara. Beside him, a young earth botanist explained the plant's adaptive mechanisms. "This plant, like us, has learned to thrive where survival seems unlikely," the botanist said, drawing a parallel that Yilax deeply appreciated. "Yes," Yilax agreed, his gaze thoughtful as he looked at the thriving plant. "It seems we have much in common with your world's flora and fauna, resilience, adaptability, and a profound connection to our environment." With the foundation of mutual respect solidly laid and the joint research facility underway, the relationship between Earth and the Araxians had reached a crucial turning point. Projects that had once seemed like distant dreams were now in motion, embodying the spirit of cooperation that had grown out of the Araxians' initial mission of conquest. As the collaborative efforts flourished, Yilax found himself at a crossroads regarding the future direction of their mission. The crew was deeply involved in various projects ranging from environmental restoration efforts to technological exchanges that benefited both Earth and Araxial. However, Yilax knew that the ultimate success of their mission depended on more than just these initiatives. It required a formal and lasting alliance with Earth's global leaders. To this end, Yilax and the diplomatic team prepared for a series of crucial summits that would involve leaders from major Earth nations. These meetings were designed to formalize the relationships and establish a framework for ongoing collaboration and peace. As the summit approached, Yilax spent long hours with Farouk and the Earth representatives, strategizing on the best ways to present their achievements and the potential benefits of an extended partnership. Farouk, whose insight into human nature had been invaluable, emphasized the importance of transparency and goodwill. "We must show them that our technology and knowledge are not threats, but gifts for shared prosperity," Farouk advised. The summit was held at the United Nations, a place chosen for its historical significance in fostering international cooperation. Leaders from around the world gathered, intrigued and cautiously optimistic about the potential of joining forces with an alien civilization. Yilax, taking the podium, delivered a powerful address. He spoke not only of the technologies and environmental solutions that the Araxians had introduced, but also of the deeper understanding and respect for Earth's cultures and natural wonders that they had developed. "Our journey began with a vision of conquest," Yilax confessed. "But we learned that true strength lies in partnership, not domination. We stand before you today ready to commit to a future where our worlds work together for the betterment of all our peoples." The response was overwhelmingly positive. Moved by the sincerity and the tangible benefits already visible from preliminary projects, the Earth leaders signed a treaty of cooperation. The treaty outlined joint ventures in technology, environmental management, and cultural exchanges, marking a new era in Earth-Araxial relations. Following the summit, celebrations erupted around the globe. The treaty was seen not just as a diplomatic victory, but as a promise of a brighter, more inclusive future. Back on the Araxial, Yelax convened a meeting with his crew to reflect on the path they had traveled. From their first uncertain steps on the sands of the Sahara to standing at the heart of Earth's diplomatic arena, they had transformed from conquerors to collaborators. "I am proud of what we have achieved," Yelax told his crew. "Our mission has evolved beyond our initial goals, and each of you has played a pivotal role in this transformation." As the Araxial continued to serve as a symbol of peace and technological advancement, Yelax and his team supported the implementation of the treaty's projects. Earth's technology and capabilities grew by leaps and bounds, influenced by Araxian innovations, while the Araxians learned much from Earth's creativity and resilience. The relationship between Earth and the Araxians became a beacon of hope in the galaxy, showing that even vastly different civilizations could find common ground and prosper together. The legacy of their partnership promised to extend far beyond their own solar systems, setting a precedent for future encounters between different worlds. In the years that followed, the joint research facility blossomed into a hub of innovation and unity. Here, Earthlings and Araxians worked side by side, their once unlikely alliance now a testament to the power of understanding and cooperation. With the treaty formalized and global celebrations acknowledging a new era of peace and cooperation, the Araxians and Earth had woven a tight bond that transcended their initial encounters. The joint research facility was not just a symbol, but a beacon of the fruitful outcomes possible from interspecies collaboration. Now, it was time for Yelax and his team to consider their long-term role and impact on Earth. In the wake of the summit's success, Yelax convened his senior officers aboard the Araxial to discuss the future of their mission. The main agenda was to outline a strategic plan that would ensure the sustainability of the cooperation and expand the scope of their joint initiatives. "We've built a foundation on mutual respect and shared goals," Yelax began, addressing his team in the ship's conference room. "Now, we must look ahead to how we can further integrate our efforts, ensuring that this alliance benefits both our worlds in the long run." Tarek, ever the strategist, proposed expanding their technological exchange programs. "We've seen significant interest in our environmental technologies and medical advancements. Perhaps it's time to establish more specialized exchange programs that can also include cultural and educational components." Mira, the mission's liaison for Earth cultural integration, suggested an intercultural festival that could be hosted alternately on Earth and Araxial. "A celebration of our diverse heritage could strengthen the bonds and understanding between our peoples, showcasing arts, music, and traditions from both worlds." Yelax nodded, pleased with the proactive approaches. "These are excellent ideas. Let's also consider long-term environmental monitoring initiatives. We can use our technology to help Earth manage its natural resources more effectively, ensuring a sustainable future." The meeting evolved into a brainstorming session, with each member contributing ideas that ranged from shared space exploration missions to joint disaster response teams, leveraging Araxian technology and Earth's rapidly developing capabilities. As they finalized their new strategy, Yelax tasked each officer with leading a specific project, ensuring that the initiatives had clear leadership and defined goals. The atmosphere was one of excitement and anticipation. They were no longer alien visitors, but integral partners in Earth's journey into the future. The following weeks were busy, as the Araxians worked closely with their Earth counterparts to implement the new initiatives. News of these projects spread globally, reinforcing the positive image of the Araxians and solidifying Earth's role as a host to interstellar diplomacy and collaboration. During this time, Yelax visited the joint research facility to review the progress. He was impressed by the enthusiasm and dedication displayed by both Araxian and Earth scientists working together. Whether they were developing new energy solutions or planning a joint expedition to uncharted planets, the teams worked with a synergy that was once unimaginable. One of the most ambitious projects was the launch of a jointly designed spacecraft intended to explore potentially habitable exoplanets. This project not only symbolized their shared vision for exploration, but also their commitment to finding new frontiers together. As Yilak stood in the mission control room, watching the teams prepare for the upcoming launch, he felt a profound sense of pride. "This," he said to a young Earth engineer beside him, "is the future, built not on conquest, but on cooperation." The engineer smiled, her eyes reflecting the same hope and determination. "And it's just the beginning, Commander. There's so much more we can achieve together." Yilak returned to the Araxial that evening, looking out over the Earth as the sun set behind the planet. The journey had taught him and his crew invaluable lessons about humility, partnership, and the possibilities that arise from embracing differences. Reflecting on these lessons, Yilak knew that their strategy was sound. They were not just allies now, they were family, woven together by shared dreams and the unbreakable bonds of interspecies friendship. As the stars appeared one by one, he felt confident that together, Earth and Araxial would navigate whatever challenges the future held. The collaborative spirit that had taken root between the Araxians and Earthlings continued to flourish, catalyzing a series of innovative projects that had significant impacts both on Earth and across interstellar communities. As these initiatives grew, so too did the need for a more formalized framework to support this burgeoning partnership. It was time to codify the relationship and ensure its sustainability through an official agreement. In preparation for the formal signing of this expanded treaty, Yilak worked closely with Earth's leaders and diplomats to outline a comprehensive set of guidelines that would govern the interactions and joint ventures between Earth and Araxial. The agreement would not only cover technological and environmental projects, but also include provisions for cultural exchanges and joint governance of any off-world colonies or outposts established in the future. As the date of the signing approached, representatives from various Earth nations gathered at the United Nations, joined by a delegation of Araxians who had now become familiar faces on Earth. The event was broadcast globally, signaling the importance of this moment not only to those directly involved, but to the world at large. Yilak stood beside Earth's Secretary General at the podium, the historic document laid out before them. Cameras flashed, capturing this landmark moment. Yilak addressed the assembly, his voice resonant and clear. "Today we mark a new chapter in the story of our worlds," he began. "This agreement is not merely a document. It is a testament to what we can achieve when we choose cooperation over conflict, understanding over uncertainty." The Secretary General echoed Yilak's sentiments. "This treaty is a beacon of hope. It shows that unity and mutual respect can lead to prosperity and peace, not just for our own generations, but for those that will follow." With a ceremonial flourish, Yilak and the Secretary General signed the agreement, followed by applause and a standing ovation from the gathered delegates and observers. The treaty outlined the following key points: establishing cooperative tech labs on Earth and Araxial to foster innovation and development in sustainable technologies and space exploration; initiating programs that would allow Earthlings and Araxians to visit and study on each other's worlds, promoting a deeper cultural understanding and bonding; committing to the preservation and restoration of natural habitats, both on Earth and any other impacted celestial bodies, guided by the best ecological practices of both worlds; designing and deploying missions to explore the outer reaches of the galaxy, with mixed crews that would further cement the bonds between the two races. After the signing, a series of cultural performances highlighted the diverse traditions of Earth and Araxial, celebrating the unique aspects of both cultures. The event not only served as a formal ratification of the treaty, but also as a public affirmation of the strong bonds that had been forged. In the weeks following the agreement, Yilak and his team coordinated the implementation of the treaty's initiatives. Projects that had been pilot programs were now expanded with increased funding and resources, attracting top talent and interest from across scientific communities. The joint research facility became a hub of activity, not just for scientists, but for students and visitors from both worlds, eager to learn and participate in this interstellar partnership. New technologies developed from this collaboration began to make their way into everyday life, improving energy efficiency on Earth and introducing new methods of resource management on Araxial. The signing of the treaty had marked a new era of coexistence between Earth and Araxial. As the months passed, the foundations of their partnership solidified, leading to unprecedented advancements and intercultural exchanges that benefited both worlds. Yilax, now a respected figure both on Earth and among his people, took great pride in overseeing the implementation of the treaty's initiatives. He frequently traveled between Earth and Araxial, ensuring that the projects adhered to the spirit of their agreement, mutual respect, and shared prosperity. One of the standout successes was the Cultural Exchange Program. The first group of Earth students traveled to Araxial, returning with stories that captivated their home planet. They spoke of the luminous forests of Araxial, where bioluminescent plants lit the night in dazzling colors, and the vast libraries that held the collective knowledge of Araxial's ancient civilization. Conversely, Araxian students on Earth were fascinated by the diversity of cultures and the natural beauty of Earth's environments, from the rolling green hills of the countryside to the bustling, vibrant cities. In science and technology, the cooperative tech labs were making significant strides, particularly in the field of renewable energy. A joint team developed a new type of solar panel, inspired by Araxial's technology, but adapted to Earth's environmental conditions. This innovation not only increased the efficiency of solar energy, but was also more cost-effective, making sustainable energy more accessible worldwide. Meanwhile, the Environmental and Planetary Protection Initiative had launched several projects aimed at restoring damaged ecosystems. One such project involved the restoration of coral reefs, using techniques pioneered on Araxial, where similar underwater ecosystems had been successfully rejuvenated. The results were promising, showing significant recovery in coral health and an increase in marine biodiversity. The shared space missions also achieved a historic milestone with the launch of the Unity Explorer, a spacecraft jointly designed and manned by crews from Earth and Araxial. Its mission was to venture beyond the known limits of the solar system and explore potential habitable exoplanets. The launch was watched by millions around the globe, a testament to the universal appeal and excitement generated by their collaborative efforts. Back on Earth, Yilax attended a conference where the achievements of the Earth-Araxial partnership were showcased. He listened as project leaders from both worlds discussed the impact of their work, not just in terms of technological and environmental advancements, but also in how it brought their people together. During the conference, an Earth scientist, Dr. Lena Morris, shared her experience working in the joint labs. "What started as a partnership has evolved into a friendship," she said. "We're not just sharing technology, we're sharing our hopes, our fears, and our dreams. We're learning to see the universe through each other's eyes, and it's a perspective that is profoundly enriching." Yilax felt a deep sense of satisfaction hearing these words. They echoed his own thoughts about the mission's evolution, from wary visitors to integral partners and friends. As the conference concluded, Yilax and the delegates took a walk through a garden that had been designed to represent the flora of both Earth and Araxial. The garden, a symbol of their growing unity, blended elements of both worlds seamlessly, just as their cultures had begun to intertwine.